This is Jonathan Haggoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. We're here in London today at the announcement of a massive domestic clash between Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur. With me, the Beast on the East, Anthony Yarde. How you been?
I'm magnificent. It's a fantastic day. You know, it's still cold. The sun's lying to us, but the sun's shining every now and then. Yeah, it's a good day, man.
Going to start off with a little story. I was at an Arsenal game in November time, I think it was. I'm not going to mention the performance or result. Arsenal Crystal Palace, I think it was. And at half time, I look over and Anthony Yarde's on the big screen. And the reception you got was pretty phenomenal. How would you describe your profile since the Sergey Kovalev fight?
The profile has gone up, it's risen. Having Arsenal fans support me and, you know, give me that kind of reception is an honour to me. You know, I grew up, you know, living and breathing Arsenal. Ian Wright, Ian Wright was my guy, man. You know, I used to love that guy. I still love him now. You know, he's still such a nice guy after football. But he is someone that, you know, inspired me a lot. He turned professional as a football player very late. Everyone knows I turned professional as a boxer very late. And Arsenal's always going to have a soft spot in my heart. I'm always going to be a supporter and a fan of Arsenal. And to have them supporting me now behind me is a lovely thing.
I mean, I spoke to your coach Tunde quite a while back at the Peacock, and I discussed, you know, whether you'd ever fight at the Emirates. How realistic is that now with this profile? And that must be a dream, right?
Again, that's a dream, and dreams come through. I've been making them come through. They've been coming through. So again, that's one of the things that I would love. I would love for that to happen in the future. As long as I stay focused, keep working hard. It's almost done. It's gonna happen.
Now, as much as I want to talk about Arsenal, far more people care about your next fight against Lyndon Arthur. Talk to me about how this fight firstly came about. I think it's been sort of 2 years since you last fought sort of a British opponent. The public have demanded a British opponent, and now they've got it. Yeah, talk to me about how this fight came about.
From what I remember, my last, I would say that's probably one of my best performances against the last fight. I thought that was British. I'm planning to top it. I'm always trying to entertain the fans. You can't always please the fans because everyone has different preferences, different opinions. And at the same time, you need to be business savvy, you need to be smart, and you need to make the right moves at the right time. And then eventually, you know, you end up having fights like this. People wanted me to have these fights way earlier. But then again, if I had this fight a year ago or 2 years ago, I wouldn't be having it now. So again, it's something to build up to, something to look forward to, and now it's a way bigger fight than it would have been if I fought it a year ago or 2 years ago. So again, it was a smart move in the end.
I mean, break it down for me. Both, he's unbeaten. You've only had one defeat to the elite of Sergey Kovalev. A really, really good fight on paper. I think 30 knockouts between you two. So what will be the difference for you in this fight?
Just me. Just me. My physicality, my mentality, ring smarts. Again, tune in on the night. You actually have to watch this show. My fight and the Daniel Dubois against Dubois-Joyce, that's two fights that are going to be action-packed. Definitely going to be entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the whole night.
Just to clarify something before we move on, you did take a fight in Spain a few weeks ago. Talk to me why you took that fight. People were quite surprised you took it, but yeah, explain to me why you took a fight in Spain.
If there was talks of a vacant world title, if that opportunity came about, I wouldn't have been able to go and take that fight coming off of a loss. So, get a fight in. And as soon as that got said to me, there was an opportunity for me to fight off the radar, nothing big, nothing for me to promote. it's also to gain a bit of experience. You know, people don't understand this. Every single time you get in a boxing ring, it's experience. So when people have had these 200 amateur fights and they've had all this 30 professional fights or these 25 build-up fights in the professional ranks, that's all experience. Something that I was lacking in my biggest fight of my career. But now I'm gaining more experience. So that was my sole purpose for that fight, to get a fight done. So if the fight did present as an opportunity, I could have been eligible to fight for it.
I mean, that shot remains vacant. I saw a report which said the top 4 contenders would fight eliminators. I think you're 6. But do you expect to land either an eliminator or that shot by the end of the year, should you come through Lyndon Arthur? Or you're not thinking that far ahead?
I don't ever think past it. I've always been like that from the beginning of my career. I will stay like that. For me, this is the only fight that matters right now. And I'm going to go out there and do a job.
Can you give me a prediction?
An exciting fight, an entertaining build-up, an explosive result, a very good fight, and entertainment. There'll definitely be entertainment in this fight.
A few more questions before we wrap up. I saw yesterday, or the day before, Kovalev's next fight got announced at catchweight 180 against Sullivan Barrera. Did you expect him to continue after the Canelo defeat? A lot of people, we saw a few weaknesses before your fight. Then you had that incredible 8th round, and then the Canelo fight. Did you sort of expect him to continue?
Yes, 100%. He has a lot more left in the tank. Again, what people need to understand about boxing is just if you lose a fight, it don't mean your career is over. You know, Kovalev has shown that since he's been with Buddy McGirt, since he went with Buddy McGirt, there's been a change in his step. And again, the Kovalev that fought me and the Kovalev that fought Canelo was a different Kovalev than who was fighting before. So the way I see it is this. The best Kovalev fought me, and then the Kovalev that fought Canelo was still a good Kovalev, but he had no time to recover. He said it himself. He come off a hard fight with me, and he went into that fight within 8 weeks. That's absurd. To to go back to the weight, and he's saying that he's looking to do cruiserweight because he's struggling to make light heavyweight now. That's another big thing. Making light heavyweight for a lot of people is because there's such a big gap between light heavyweight and cruiserweight. It's the biggest gap in boxing, over a stone. That's a lot of weight. So that's probably why him and Barrera, which again I'm finding this out right now, as you're telling me, that's probably why they're fighting at 180. So they're both not killing themselves. They're not fighting for a title. Why fight at the weight limit? So yeah, I'll say that because he went into that fight so quick with Canelo, I thought he might have got stopped a bit earlier, and I didn't expect him to do as well as he did. He was winning on points before he got knocked out. So he still impressed me. The fact he still went out there and he had a good engine and he was popping his jab up until 11 rounds.
In Vegas a few weeks ago, we saw Tyson Fury's incredible win over Deontay Wilder. What did you make of the performance and the reasons Wilder gave for defeat? He said one of the reasons was his costume was too heavy. I can tell you're not really agreeing with that, but yeah, what did you make of the fight and then what followed?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to give Tyson Fury his accolades. That was sensational. He's getting to that point where I'm not even surprised of how good he performs on big stages anymore. Nothing he does is surprising me because I rate Wilder very highly. Some people don't. They're saying he's lacking a lot of boxing technique. He's this, he's that. Mate, before that fight he was undefeated, had the highest knockout ratio in the boxing history. You're mad. The guy's doing something right. It might not be cute to the eye in terms of, he might not be sipping punches, he might not be a Mike Tyson, he might not be Muhammad Ali, but what he's doing is very effective. And Fury went in there and got the job done. And I'm one of the people, I don't like to take anything away from someone that's done a good job. And I was one of the people that I put up a post because I enjoyed the fight so much, and I said they're both still champions. They're both acting as champions. They're both still, you can't take away what Wilder has done thus far. And of course, Wilder is a champion. And Fury is a champion on paper now as well. And he's always been a champion. And he's shown that. But the excuse that Wilder made, it kind of took away. It took away from it. Because I was one of the people that was saying they're both still champions. You can't take away what Wilder's done. Leave it as that. If you lost the fight, take the loss and come back. For you to talk about an outfit, which I'm sure you got made for you, you probably tried it on. I don't know, man. I'm one of the people. I always try and I don't ever say anything negative about anything. You can look back in every interview I've ever done. You've never heard me say anything negative. I won't start now, but the only thing I will say is that he took away from the occasion what he's capable of as well. I'll give an example. Anthony Joshua lost to Ruiz. He didn't make one excuse. Everyone made excuses for him, which again I thought it was very smart. You don't make excuses yourself. Don't say nothing. If you think it's like, just don't say it. Come back and do better, and that's what Joshua did. Someone that actually had a reason when David Haye had a broken toe against Klitschko. Everyone ridiculed him for it. And he actually, if anyone's ever hurt their big toe before, I have, you can't even stand up straight. There's almost nothing you can do about it. But again, he's made an excuse, so people don't like it. This one's worse. Because he's not talking about an injury or anything like that. He's talking about the weight of a costume he chose to wear into a boxing ring. Come on, man. Wilder, I'm actually a fan of Wilder. I'm still a fan of Wilder. I'm a fan of what he's accomplished. I'm always a fan of what people accomplish because I know how hard it is. But again, my advice, for what he's accomplished, from what I've accomplished, I'm no one to really advise him on anything. But again, brother to brother, you should have kept it on to yourself.
You mentioned sort of that you tweeted about it. Another tweet I saw you retweet, which went viral, was Mike Tyson. In that podcast with Sugar Ray Leonard, he spoke about the difficulties he's had since retiring, and he can't release he can't replicate what he was in the ring. That's really struck a chord with I think all boxing fans. But what did you make of it? And is there fear amongst sort of boxers of not having that when you sort of retire?
That interview was emotional. It was heartfelt. There was so much passion, and this is why Mike Tyson will always be my favourite boxer, because of what he represented, how he was, his story, how entertaining he was in the ring. Tyson was the baddest man on the planet. I will forever say it. There's no one, you can't come, I will never compare myself to Mike Tyson, no matter how well I do in life. I could knock out every opponent I fight after this, from here until the end of my career. I could knock out every opponent in the first round. I still wouldn't compare myself to Mike Tyson because it's almost disrespectful. It's like when Mike Tyson talks about Muhammad Ali, he cries. And he says that no one's better than Muhammad Ali. Even though some people will say there's other fighters out there that are better than Ali, but Tyson will say, no. Do not mention anyone's name with Muhammad Ali. And I say it's the same thing with Tyson. What Tyson done for boxing and what he accomplished, don't mention your name with Mike Tyson. Tyson is the baddest man on the planet, full stop. When he started crying and he was telling Sugar Ray Leonard face to face what he meant to him. When Tyson was 13 years old and he saw him he was in juvenile centre and he saw Leonard fight, he told Leonard face to face what that done for his life, changed his life. And I was one of them people. When I posted it, Sugar Ray Leonard liked it. He liked my comment. He liked my post, And again, that's another piece of recognition. I'm another person. I'm one of the people that Mike Tyson was talking about. The person that was inspired. You see something, you see where the people come from, and you get inspired. Sugar Ray Leonard was a very handsome man. He said that he's non-confrontational. But look at him in the ring, monster. So yeah, that was a beautiful interview. Man. I would actually I'm going to go watch it again.
Absolutely. Who would you say is your top 3 pound for pound in the world?
Right now? my top 3 pound for pound right now. Woo! It's hard to do, but Canelo for me, he's someone that there's no debate. Man, I couldn't give 3. You know, I'll be honest with you. I couldn't give a 3. Errol Spence is there. Crawford is there. Tyson Fury is there. Man, you can't narrow it down to 3. You know, there's more, but I won't. You can't narrow it down, man. But they are the people that right now, again, performance-wise, what they're accomplishing, and again how they fight, their boxing skill. I always put that in there. There's a Chinese guy, I forgot his name, Japanese he might be. Nue, he's a good fighter. There's even more, man. Chocolito is back. Fantastic fighter, he's back. There's so many, man. I'm not gonna get in here and start thinking, man. I'll be all day.
2 more, I promise. What is your motivation? You're very sort of, I think, deep thinking type of guy. I think it's fair to say. You've got huge ambitions in the sport, but maybe outside of the sport, what sort of motivates you?
Life. It's always going to be life. I've been at lowers before. I'm very ambitious because I know it's possible. So when you make up your mind that something's possible, you can only be ambitious. Especially when I've been at the bottom. I've had nothing. You know, it's not nice to have them kind of memories, but it does drive you. And this is why people that hate on people and stuff, they're just bad people, man. People that wish bad on you and that hate on you and just, you know, they don't like your accomplishments. They're just bad people. Like, why? If you actually seen some of the things I've been through or how I came up and decisions I made to even start boxing, love. I only pay attention and I'm only happy with the people that are motivated, because there's other people out there like me, worse off than me, that just need a bit of inspiration. And I'm one of the people, you know, just like the Mike Tyson, you know, coming from nothing. And he said it in that interview. Sugar Ray Leonard was the person one of the people that inspired him, because he said, this man come from nothing and look what he's doing with his life. I can do that as well. It's possible. And sometimes, like, even before I become who I was, I used to look at people on TV and say, I used to have this imagination. This is what a lot of people have got. They got this figment of imagination. That person's just they're different. They got to where they got to from some sort of magic trick. No, it's hard work. And I'm evident of that. I grew up in Stratford and Forest Gate. That's very much reality. I still go to them places now. And them places are still there. There's still young kids growing up in them areas. I went to community school, Forest Gate Community School. I went to Maryland Primary School. And now I've built a name for myself. Now I'm Anthony Yarde with a name. I'm Beast from the East. And people see me on the street and I'll be honest with you, there was a boy, he surprised me. He started screaming. He was a young man. He screamed in Stratford. And I was looking at him like, Bob, you ain't got this kind of look. Like you're screaming, you're meant to spud me and say, well gone, G. But he was screaming in the street. Like saying, oh, I can't believe it, oh my gosh. So it's like, in my mind, I'm Anthony Yarde. I've always lived in my own body. But to some people, they see me and they're like, man, you're a big deal. Do you know what I'm saying? So I always told the younger generation, look at yourself as a big deal, because if you stay focused, you can be a big deal in a matter of no time at all.
Last one. What's your prediction for your stablemate Daniel Dubois' fight with Joe-Joyce?
What does stablemate mean?
Gym mate.
Okay. I hardly see Daniel. I see him the other day. But me and Daniel, every time we see each other, it's all smiles. I like to see him. He's doing very well. But what I see in this fight is a clash, man. There literally is going to be 2 bulls running into each other. That's the kind of fight you're going to see. And that's no exaggeration, because none of them go backwards. They both trade when the person trades with them. You don't ever see none of them slipping and sliding or skipping on the back foot and boxing, using the jab, just boxing. They both come forward. Jab, jab, right hand. Jab, 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 right hand. Jab, right hand. Right hand, jab. They both fight the same. Similar, they got different styles, but they fight the same. They both come forward and throw punches. So it's going to be an exciting fight.
Anthony Yarde, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it, and look forward to April 11th.
Lions in the camp.